Gentlemen, I want you to pause for a moment and imagine something powerful. Picture yourself waking up tomorrow morning and feeling a firmness you may not have experienced in years. Not because of a pill, not because of a pump, not because of some risky or expensive treatment, but because of your own hands. Using a few simple minutes of gentle, precise stimulation that taps into the body's natural ability to restore erections. I'm Dr. Olivia Harper, and for decades I've devoted myself to helping men reclaim their vitality, their confidence, and their joy and intimacy. And today, I want to show you something both practical and deeply empowering. 3 specific pressure points on your manhood and the surrounding area. When stimulated correctly, these points can help restore morning erections by improving blood flow, calming tension in the right muscles, and reawakening your nerve sensitivity. If you've been missing those automatic morning rises, if you've noticed that what once happened naturally has become less frequent, then stay with me, because by the end of this talk, you will not only know exactly where these points are, but also how to stimulate them safely, how often to do so, and what kind of results you can expect when you make this part of your daily rhythm. But before we explore the where and how, I want you to first understand why this works. Because once you grasp the science, you'll realize you're not just pressing on the skin, you're communicating directly with one of the most intricate and powerful systems in the male body. Erections are not random accidents. They're not purely mechanical events either. They are the result of a beautiful coordinated dance between your brain, your spinal cord, your nerves, your blood vessels, and your muscles. Think of it as a finely tuned orchestra. When all the instruments play in harmony, the music flows. When even one instrument is out of sync, the whole performance feels off. It begins with nerve signals, tiny electrical messages that move at lightning speed. These signals travel from your brain, or sometimes directly from sensory nerves in your manhood, to the erectile tissues inside. Once they arrive, they send a message to the smooth muscles that line the arteries in the penis. Relax, open up, and allow blood to enter. As those muscles let go, blood rushes in and fills the spongy chambers called the corpora cavernosa. As these chambers expand, something remarkable happens. The veins that normally drain blood away get compressed. This traps the blood inside, creating firmness. It is a simple yet miraculous biological design, one that makes arousal possible. But here's where age complicates things. Over the years, the blood vessels in your pelvic region begin to lose elasticity. The walls stiffen, circulation slows, and the arteries don't widen as easily as they once did. This is often accelerated by inflammation, high blood pressure, or simply decades of wear and tear. At the same time, nerve conduction weakens. Those lightning-fast signals from your brain or sensory receptors don't travel quite as strongly or as quickly anymore. This double challenge, sluggish blood flow, and slower nerve communication is one of the major reasons why morning erections fade with age, often after 50 or 60. And it's not just about sex. It's about overall circulation, cardiovascular health, and vitality. This is why targeted pressure point stimulation can be such a game changer. When you press or massage specific areas, you activate clusters of sensory nerves that plug directly into reflex pathways connected to erections. These signals don't just stay where you touch. They travel into the pelvic nerve plexus and even up into the sacral region of the spinal cord, which houses the very center that controls erections. When this happens, a chain reaction begins. The nervous system tells smooth muscles to relax, arteries to open, and blood to flow more freely. And it doesn't stop there. Some of these points also influence the pelvic floor muscles, the hammock-like muscles beneath your pelvis that literally support your erections and play a role in controlling ejaculation. When these muscles are toned and responsive, erections don't just start more easily, they stay strong for longer. This is why pressure point work is so effective. It doesn't just help you initiate erections, it also helps you maintain them, bypassing some of the age-related slowdowns and giving your system a direct hands-on reset. It's a little like rebooting a computer. You clear away the lag, refresh the system, and allow both the hardware and the software to work in harmony again. When practiced regularly, this stimulation retrains your body. It restores vascular flexibility, improves nerve sensitivity, and reconditions your erectile reflexes. Over time, what feels at first like a simple massage becomes a daily tool to remind your body of how it's meant to perform. Now, let us explore the first of these remarkable points, the one I call the bass groove. The first point we are going to target, gentlemen, is what I like to call the bass groove. This is not a fancy medical term. It's a simple name for a very real and very powerful spot, right at the foundation of your manhood. It sits exactly where the shaft meets the pubic area at the very root. To locate it, I want you to run your fingers gently along the underside of your shaft all the way toward your body. As you reach that junction point, you'll notice something subtle, a slight indentation or groove, almost like a natural hinge. This is where the erectile tissue blends into the deeper structures anchored inside your pelvis. When you touch it carefully, you may feel that it has a slightly different texture compared to the rest of the shaft, perhaps firmer, denser, or a little more sensitive. That's because this area is a crossroads of vital anatomy. Beneath the skin of the bass groove lies a busy intersection of systems. Here you'll find branches of the dorsal nerve of the penis, clusters of sensory receptors, and important blood vessel junctions that feed directly into the erectile chambers. Think of it as a kind of control hub, a place where your body's electrical wiring and plumbing meet. By stimulating this area, you're not just touching skin. You're literally lighting up nerve pathways and waking up your circulation at the same time. Now let me explain why this spot matters so much. When you massage the bass groove, you're delivering two important instructions to your body. First, you're telling your blood vessels, open up, expand, let more blood flow through. Second, you're telling your nerve fibers, wake up, send signals faster, send them stronger. That combination, better circulation plus sharper nerve communication, is exactly what your erectile system needs, especially as you age. Here's how to do it correctly. Position your thumb directly over the bass groove while your other fingers gently cradle the back of the shaft for support. Begin with moderate pressure, enough so you can feel the tissue beneath your thumb, but never so hard that it feels painful. You are not trying to force anything. You are coaxing your body to respond. Move your thumb in slow, steady circles. Let the warmth of your touch spread gently through the area. As you continue, you can gradually increase the firmness of your pressure, particularly if you sense the tissue starting to soften and relax under your thumb. This is a good sign. It means the muscles and vessels are opening. You might notice a few things: a gentle warmth spreading, a tingling sensation, maybe even a subtle sense of fullness beginning to develop. These are signals from your body saying, yes, blood is moving. Yes, nerves are activating. Yes, the system is waking up. Now, if you don't feel much at first, do not be discouraged. This is not about instant fireworks. This is about training and retraining. Consistency is key. With daily practice, the sensitivity of this area increases over time. Your body learns to respond more quickly, more reliably, and with greater strength. For best results, I recommend stimulating the bass groove in the morning before you even step out of bed. Why? Because at that time, your body is naturally relaxed, your mind is calm, and you are not distracted. A warm shower is another excellent moment to practice because the heat has already relaxed the tissues and improved blood flow. Work on this spot for about 1 to 2 minutes daily. In the beginning, you might only notice a mild improvement, but after several weeks, many men report that their morning erections become stronger, more consistent, and more dependable. What felt like a fading memory begins to return as a daily reality. The bass groove is the gateway. It sets the stage by combining nerve activation with improved blood flow. Once this hub is awake, the rest of your system is primed to respond more fully. But the bass groove is only the beginning. The second point I want to show you is in an area many men overlook, even though it is one of the most powerful allies you have for maintaining firmness. The second point we're going to focus on, gentlemen, is not on the shaft itself, but just beneath it in a place that most men ignore, the perineum. This is that soft, springy strip of tissue located between your scrotum and your anus. Some men hardly ever touch this area, but I assure you when it comes to erection strength and control, the perineum is an absolute powerhouse. Why is it so important? Because it sits directly above one of the most crucial muscles in your pelvic floor, called the bulbospinosus muscle. This muscle plays a key role in your erection system. It helps trap blood inside the penis once you're aroused, acting like a natural clamp. Without it, blood escapes too quickly and firmness fades. Over time, especially with age, this muscle weakens if it is not engaged, making it harder to hold an erection. But here's the beauty. With simple stimulation, you can wake it up, strengthen it, and restore its responsiveness. Think of the perineum as the control switch for the pelvic floor. When you apply pressure here, you're not only activating nerves that connect directly to the erection reflex center, you're also giving the bulbospinosus muscle a workout without needing to do a full set of traditional Kegel exercises. It's like exercising from the outside in. Now, let's talk about how to find and stimulate this point. You can do this seated in a comfortable chair or lying back with your knees slightly apart. Using 2 fingers, your index and middle finger work best. Press gently but firmly into the very center of the perineum. You don't need to push hard. In fact, too much pressure will only cause discomfort. What you want is steady, deliberate contact, just enough to feel that underlying tissue respond. Once your fingers are in position, begin moving them in slow, small circles. Stay centered and let the rhythm be calm and controlled. As you continue, pay attention to what you feel. Many men notice subtle but powerful sensations, a gentle warmth radiating toward the penis, a faint pulsing as circulation improves, or even a tightening and releasing sensation in the pelvic floor. That is your body's way of telling you, yes, this is working. The muscle is waking up. The blood flow is increasing. Stay with it for about 2 to 3 minutes. Don't rush. This is not about speed. It's about consistency and connection. The perineum responds best when you approach it with patience and steadiness. Now, for those who want to take this a step further, I recommend pairing this massage with light pelvic floor contractions. After a round of perineum massage, gently squeeze and release the muscles you would use to stop your urine midstream. Those are your pelvic floor muscles. Doing this right after stimulation gives the muscle a double boost. External activation from your fingers and internal activation from your own contractions. Together, this builds tone and strength in the very muscles that support your erections. Over time, as you integrate this into your daily rhythm, you'll notice not only that erections start more easily, but that they also last longer. Many men describe feeling more fullness, more stability, and more control. And that is exactly what this overlooked spot is designed to provide. So remember, the perineum may be hidden, but it should never be forgotten. When it comes to restoring morning vitality, this little patch of tissue is one of your greatest allies. Now, let's move on to the third and final point, a place that is perhaps the most sensitive and also the most powerful of all. The third and final point I want to bring your attention to, gentlemen, is located in one of the most sensitive regions of your body, just beneath the head of the penis. This area is known as the glans, and specifically, we are targeting the ridge-like ring, where the glans meets the shaft. Anatomically, this ring is called the corona. Now, why is this such an important spot? Because it is absolutely packed with sensory nerve endings. In fact, this is one of the richest nerve-dense zones in the entire male anatomy. These nerves are not just there for pleasure, they are the primary messengers that send arousal signals racing to the spinal cord's erection center. When this area is stimulated with the right rhythm and balance, it can sharpen nerve responsiveness and make it far easier for the body to move from a state of arousal into a strong, lasting erection. I like to think of the corona as your body's ignition switch. But just like with any sensitive switch, too much pressure or too much speed can overwhelm the system. That's why stimulation here must be controlled, gentle, and deliberate. This is about training your nervous system, not overstimulating it. Here's how to work this point correctly. Using your thumb and forefinger, gently take hold of your manhood just beneath the glands, positioning your fingers on either side of the corona ridge. Begin with a light but steady pinch, firm enough that you feel contact, but not so firm that it causes discomfort. Hold that gentle pinch for about 5 seconds, then slowly release. Repeat this hold and release action for roughly 1 minute, keeping your touch consistent and measured. After you've done that, switch to slow circular motions around the entire circumference of the corona. Let your fingers glide lightly, just enough to activate those densely packed nerve endings without creating friction or irritation. Spend another 1 to 2 minutes in this rhythm. As you do, you may notice a tingling warmth or a sudden increase in sensitivity. That's the nervous system lighting up, reconnecting, and sending signals more efficiently to your spinal cord and erection center. With regular practice, stimulation of the corona doesn't just make erections easier to trigger, it can also improve overall sensitivity during intimacy. Many men describe feeling more spontaneous arousal, more natural responsiveness, and even a greater sense of connection to their partner when this area has been gently retrained. Think of it this way. The corona is like the fine-tuning dial on your arousal system. With careful, consistent practice, you're teaching your nerves to fire more effectively, reminding your body of the responsiveness it once had in your younger years. But here's something I want you to remember. The real magic does not come from working these 3 points separately. It comes from treating them as part of a single intentional routine. Now let's put everything together into a powerful daily sequence. Gentlemen, this is where the real transformation happens. Not in working each point randomly, but in combining them into one smooth, intentional practice that engages your circulation, your muscles, and your nervous system all at once. Here's the sequence I recommend to my patients, and the one that has consistently brought results for men in their 50s, 60s, and even into their 70s. Start with the bass groove. Spend about 90 seconds here. Place your thumb at the root of your shaft. Apply steady circular pressure and allow the area to warm. What you're doing in this first step is priming the system. You're opening the blood vessels, waking up the nerve junctions, and creating a strong foundation. Think of it as preparing the soil before planting a seed. Next, shift your focus to the perineum. This is where you spend about 2 full minutes. Apply gentle, firm pressure with your fingers, massaging in slow circles over that hidden but powerful muscle group. As you do, you're strengthening the pelvic floor, activating the bulbospongiosus muscle, and building the ability to trap blood inside your erections more effectively. This is your natural clamp, and every moment you invest here pays off in longer-lasting firmness. Finally, finish with the corona. Spend 2 minutes using the hold and release technique followed by circular motions. Here, you're not working on circulation or muscles, but on nerve sensitivity. This final step fine-tunes your arousal circuitry, making the messages between your penis and your brain sharper and faster. Done back to back, this routine takes no more than 6 minutes. Yet, in those 6 minutes, you will have activated the 3 pillars of male erection: blood flow, muscle support, and nerve communication. It is like running a complete systems check on your body every morning, ensuring that everything is awake, coordinated, and ready to perform. Now, I must set the right expectations. This is not a magic button you press once and instantly regain what was lost. The male body needs time to retrain, especially after years of slower blood flow and weaker nerve conduction. But here's the encouraging truth. Many of my patients start noticing changes within just 2 to 4 weeks. The first changes are often subtle, maybe more warmth in the mornings, maybe a firmer partial erection, maybe a sense of fullness that wasn't there before. Over time, with consistency, these small signals build into something much stronger, dependable. Morning erections, improved stamina, and a renewed sense of confidence. And for those who want lasting improvements, don't stop at the pressure points alone. Pair this daily practice with habits that support your sexual health overall. Stay hydrated throughout the day so your blood volume remains strong. Incorporate pelvic floor exercises, such as gentle cues, to reinforce what you're doing with your hands. And of course, nourish yourself with foods that support circulation. Leafy greens, beets, pomegranates, nuts, and dark chocolate are some of my favorites. When you combine these steps, the benefits multiply. The points become more responsive, the blood vessels more flexible, and the nerves more finely tuned. Your body begins to remember how to perform the way it once did, not through chemicals or surgery, but through your own effort and care. Gentlemen, let me leave you with this. You do not have to accept fading erections as a normal part of aging. Your body is still capable of responding. It simply needs the right encouragement, the right stimulation, and the right support. By working these 3 pressure points daily, you're retraining your nerves, restoring your circulation, and reawakening that morning confidence you thought was gone. Make this routine part of your life. Share your progress with others if you wish. And most importantly, remember that your sexual health is not just about performance. It is a reflection of your overall vitality. Every step you take toward improving your circulation, your muscle tone, and your nerve health is a step toward living with more strength, more confidence, and more joy in the bedroom and beyond. If you found this valuable, gentlemen, I encourage you to put it into practice. Stay consistent, trust the process, and see how your body responds. And never forget, you are not powerless in this journey.